Folks, you're looking at Robby Dinero. He is the owner of Athletes Unleashed Incorporated. It is a gym, not a restaurant, of course, up in Orchard Park, New York, in Erie County. It's a suburb of Buffalo. By the way, Robby is a former Marine, 14 years as an infantry officer in the Marine Corps. Welcome, Robby. And I understand the health inspector was hassling you. We'll show the video in a moment. But first of all, welcome to Newsmax. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I am doing very well. Appreciate you asking.
You bet. You bet. All right. So your gym, Athletes Unleashed, you are open. You're allowed to function right now in accordance with the COVID restrictions regarding capacity, correct?
We were open and we've been closed because they tightened up the restrictions and they are no longer allowing certain types of gyms to operate.
What's the problem with your gym? Why your gym is not the type that can operate?
Not only is that a tough question for business owners like myself to answer, but also for barbershops, massage parlors. We don't know why we can't operate, because martial arts studios can operate, gymnastics studios can operate, dance studios can operate, which we love. We don't want anybody to have to close down, but we don't understand the discrepancy between the two. That's part of the problem.
I understand you had some business owners over, and someone thought that you had maybe too many people at the meeting, and then the health inspector showed up along with the sheriffs. Let's take a look at that. And you're taking the video, as I understand it. You're actually operating the camera. Let's take a look.
You're on private property. You need to leave.
We're asking to appeal to your compassionate side. I know you're a taxpayer. You know, our tax dollars guarantee your guys' paychecks. But some of these people actually work for their money, and they don't want to lose their livelihood. I've lost friends, I've lost family who've killed themselves. I've seen clients die because they've lost their livelihood.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know you are, and I'm asking for you to guys have some compassion for the people that have lost everything.
You know, there's something just not right about folks armed from the state coming to break up a meeting. I don't like the image at all. What were they asking you to do specifically, though?
They weren't asking anything. The health department official was unfortunately unable to articulate what the issue was. The sheriffs weren't able to articulate what the issue was. The sheriffs could only say, you should be wearing a mask. I was still conducting the protest inside my gym. I asked some of the patriots that were with me to escort the officers and the health department official off my premises, because they walked in without asking permission. And that's exactly, as you see it in the video, it's exactly what happened. They told them to leave and they got them out, and they knew they weren't legally allowed to be there. If they were legally allowed to be there, they would have called for backup. They would have arrested us. They didn't. They couldn't charge us with anything because we weren't doing anything wrong. We were protesting.
Okay, so it was a protest. And by the way, I guess they got the message, and they did an about face. We've got that as well.
They did.
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah, it's anonymous, right? It's anonymous. They can't be anonymous. You need to know your accuser. You need to know. It cannot be anonymous.
You gotta go get a warrant.
It cannot be anonymous. It cannot be anonymous.
You gotta go get a warrant.
You don't get to write the policies. You don't get to violate the Constitution. It does not matter. You don't circumvent or subvert the Constitution. That's the way it works.
All right. And then, you know, one thing that people forget, Dr. Fauci at one point said wearing a mask can create unintended consequences. I saw the health inspector touch her face in that little sequence like 3 times. And touching your face is what you're not supposed to do, technically. And because she has the mask on, she's adjusting it all the time. I want to see the next clip, actually. I think we have them actually leaving. Take a look. Well, they left, Robby. They sure enough, is Robby still there? Robby, can you hear me? Yeah. Hi. So, Robby, any repercussions after that? Like, what happened next? They left? Did they come back with reinforcements? What happened?
No, of course not. They knew they weren't supposed to be there. They knew they were wrong. I'd like to point out that this woman the health department official tried stating, hey, we don't need a warrant because we're different. We don't fall under the same rules. But she seemed she needed to bring a couple of couple of sheriffs with her. So if she wants to claim she doesn't fall under the same rules, then don't bring the cops with you. They knew they were wrong and they left. They did not come back. But one of the councilmen, one of the town councilman Flynn, I believe his name is, posted something on social media talking about how he was going to look into what other repercussions he could take against me. So I called him out on it. I said, bring it. What repercussions do you want to bring against a bunch of patriots that were having a protest? Zero. That's how many repercussions you're going to bring against me.
Hey, by the way, so look, I told you my view on the mask. I wear one, but I remember what Fauci said and the unintended consequences. And I don't want anybody hassling me, but what's your position on the mask? I mean, do you refuse to wear one? And is that your stance?
My position is freedom. We were born and given inalienable rights by our Creator. I don't want those rights infringed, and my rights should not begin to be infringed when your fear starts. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't.
You make a strong point. Now, how about this? How about like if you come close to somebody else, the idea that perhaps you not wearing a mask could infect someone else. We understand your position, but somebody else says to you, look, your freedoms are great, but they're infringing on mine because I could get sick because you're not wearing a mask.
Again, my freedom can't be infringed upon because of their fear. If they want to live their lives in fear, they can do so, lock themselves in their house. I don't live in fear. And people need to understand that freedom can never be infringed. I fought 3 times for freedom. I'm not giving up because somebody's scared.
Robby, I hear this too about the masks. I mean, 92% of America are wearing masks. And we're still seeing the spikes with COVID. So maybe the masks are not the key. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Absolutely. The lockdowns are not working. The masks aren't working. It's going to run its course.
Robby, you mentioned your service. When did you get out?
2012, April 6, 2012.
And what was your MOS?
I was an infantry officer.
Awesome. Where'd you serve?
Thank you. Domestically or overseas in my deployments?
Well, let's go to the overseas is probably more interesting. Where'd you go?
I was in Afghanistan for 1 tour and 2 tours in Iraq.
Wow. And now you're home and they're hassling you about this stuff. How did you get into the gym business?
I transitioned out of the Marine Corps and tried stepping into the corporate world. It was not for me. I wanted to continue, taking care of people, training people, leading people. So I opened up a gym.
You're talking to a fellow Marine, right?
I do. I did a little homework on you. I understand you're in the reserves, and I appreciate your service, sir. Lieutenant Colonel, if I understand correctly.
That's true. Actually, I'm a retired Lieutenant Colonel now. I did my 20.
Roger. Appreciate your service.
Robby, right back at you. Robby Dinero, what's next for you? The gym is not functioning right now. It's very vague what they want from you exactly. So what are you going to do?
We are going to continue to resist. We are going to continue to demonstrate that real America, the backbone of America, the hardworking men and women that made this country great, don't want these lockdowns. I just came from a 500-person protest rally that we organized right outside my gym. People from all walks of life, all shapes, sizes, colors, you name it, business owners, non-business owners. We just peacefully protested and showed our local government officials that we're not interested. And you know what? The police were not there. Do you know why? The police were not there because we are protesting peacefully and we are on the right side of this. We are winning in the court of public opinion. America does not want to be locked down.
I know the cops and a lot of other people are with you on this. Robby Dinero, we appreciate it. Check him out when hopefully life gets back to normal soon, or if not before. Athletes Unleashed Incorporated up in Orchard Park, New York. Great to see you, Marine.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.